Okay, I want to tell you what a vendor is. We use a lot of names to describe it. I've been called a journeyman teacher. I've been called a traveling ballet teacher. I've been called an enrichment provider. And enrichment provider or enrichment teacher is the phrase that I use the most. The work, it doesn't like really start in my car, but the work starts in my car. So here's my ballet bag. Here's the puppet store I'm going to use. Here's the iPad that helps me organize quite comprehensively. Here are the end of year rewards because it's Maycember. It's kind of whatever. It's heavy. Here's my planner. Love Franklin Covey. So what I wanted to do was introduce you to the way that this work works, because it's an industry that operates not sleuthfully, actually. It's just happening like in a side pocket of another business that's more obvious. In my case, the other business that's more obvious are schools, right? I go to a preschool. I make an arrangement with the administration that allows me to offer a class on their campus at a time they select usually, but I have a little bit of wiggle room in there, time that works with me, especially if you find good schools, because those good schools can be just really supportive and wonderful. And when you guys build a situation of trust, where they know that you're doing your best and the kids are happy, or your students, because you might not choose to teach kids, you might choose to teach seniors, or you might choose to teach adults, or there's so many levels of enrichment. So once you have a really good relationship going with your school, what they do is they very happily facilitate you continuing your lessons, and they communicate the existence of your lessons to their community so that you could keep having students and keep coming. So it starts in my car, right? I've got a lesson that I know, it's in my mind. I'm going to teach the story of Capalia today. Right, and here is their toys of Belle, a doll that looks like a girl, and I bring all the material, my bag and my ballet store. I bring it into a classroom, and then I set up the classroom and receive the kids. Sometimes I have to go pick up the kids from another room, but I'll talk to you about that in another lesson. What you need to know in the most basic of terms is that you drive to a venue. In my case, it's a school. You have your materials on hand. You go into the space that you've been allotted to teach in because you made an arrangement in advance. And then you teach the class, clean up, and go to another school and do it all over again. This works for almost every age group, and this works for nearly every subject that exists. I mean, seriously, consider the things that you're good at. Are you good at arts and crafts? You could do great teaching. Any level. Are you good at personal finance? You could do great teaching at almost any level. But I wouldn't suggest doing it with preschoolers. They're still working on number sequencing. But seriously, like, the sky is kind of the limit. And what I wanted to do first and foremost, even though I am no model of the minimalist aesthetic that's so big on social media, you can see how basic this is. It's simple. I'm in a Honda Fit, guys. I'm not remarkable. What if I'm doing it? You can do it. I love ballet. I was lucky enough to have a lot of training before I got hurt. And when my first career could not continue, I started this. And it's awesome. I get presents all the time. Look, I got a ring yesterday. I got chocolate from a teacher. Everybody sees what everybody else is doing at a school. And everyone is supportive of each other, and it is a healthy environment and a great place to be. And the same, with caveats, happens at rec centers, always at churches. And I think also at senior centers, I would really think, but I don't work at any senior centers. All of my kids that I teach are between 2 and 8, but you can teach any age. And in this class, in this digital course, I want to teach you about that. I want to teach you about choosing a subject and then matchmaking your subject to your age group. And then I want to talk to you about, how do I put this? How to turn the whole thing into a business that you could do for an hour a week, or you could do for 40 hours a week. You could turn this into a happy side hustle while your kid's at school, or you could be an enrichment provider that completely reforms the nature of the industry and scales wildly. I've watched people do it. And my big hope is that you could find a subject that you like and that you could teach and just plain have good experiences. Because the most simple thing that this is a job that has very little overhead. I did not want to be my own business. I did not want to be my own business with a fire. But once I succeeded at it, oh, I thought everybody needed to do it. Oh my gosh, it's the greatest when it works. I had tried a couple times before. It didn't work out. I had tried other parts, other jobs, whatever, but this one struck gold and just, it worked like a house on fire. So I just really think, that's an expression, by the way. There's no literal house. There's no literal fire. I say things and then have to backpedal them to my preschoolers all the time. When you say that two people get along like a house on fire, what you're saying is they got along really fast and really well. Maybe with some kind of passion, right? What I'm saying is that when I started doing this job, I really needed the work and no one was paying me well enough. And I set my rates and I set my hours and I set the subject that I teach. So it's something that's totally my zone of genius. And I chose my age group, which brings me a lot of like peace and joy because they are hopeful and wonderful. And it's the greatest. So you choose if you like this idea. Maybe it's not for everybody, but honestly, I think this is good for most people. And there's a lot of room because the industry is not that big and it's a little on the new side. So here's my thinking. If you choose to keep going in this course, which I really expect that you will, you're going to see how to choose your subject, how to choose your age, how to build your curriculum, how to build your business, and then how to refine your offering and enhance it, make it bigger, make it broader. And then I'm going to try to do things that help the people that are working in our industry be more accessible, more connectable, because there are like literal and figurative magicians working in this field everywhere. It's magical. It's wonderful, and I hope you love it. And at the very least, I want to expose you to it. Okay, so please enjoy learning how to be an enrichment provider. Onward and upward. Oh, I was teacher Sarah, and I'm going to show you the ropes.